Multi-step inequalities, here we go. Combining your multi-step equations with our two-step inequalities that we did the other day. Things to keep in mind, the dots. If it's less than or greater than, open dot. If it's the or equal to, it's a closed dot. If the letter is first, then follow the arrow. If the letter is second, then down. And if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, you got to flip that inequality sign. So 7 plus 6a is greater than 19. This is a two-stepper. So first, let's get rid of the 7. We'll subtract 7 from both sides. 7 minus 7 is 0, so we have 6a is greater than 19 minus 7 is 12. Divide by 6. We're left with a is greater than 2. Now it doesn't tell us to graph this, but we're too cool. We're going to graph it. 2, it's just greater than, so it wouldn't include 2. That's why it gets the open circle. And then everything greater than 2 would be to the right. Or remember, if our letter's first, which it is, you just follow the arrow. It's pointing right, so shade to the right. So before we get ripping and roaring in multi-steppers, I'd like you to try these 3 out. Pause it, check back in. Actually, just try 2 of them. Pause it, check back in, make sure you got it. Here, make sure you flip the sign. Here, make sure you flip the sign as well. Here we do not flip the sign. Let's scoot down. Let's see. Letter second, so you go the opposite way, same thing here. Alright, so scope it out, see how you did. Maybe if you need to redo one of them or try a third one, go for it. Alright, now we got a word problem. The school band needs a banner to carry in a parade, or if you're fancy, a parade. The banner committee decides the length of the banner should be 18 feet. A committee member drew the diagram to the left, over yonder, to help understand the problem. What are the possible widths of the banner if they can use no more than 48 feet of trim? So, the thing about rectangle perimeter is you can do 2 times the width plus 2 times the length, right? Because they would be the same, right? The 2 widths are the same, the 2 lengths are the same. So sometimes you might see it like this, 2w plus 2 length, or sometimes you might just see it like 2 times the width plus the length, right? Because that would show you 2 of the widths and 2 of the lengths. We're going to do it like the first way. But it already tells us that the length is 18 feet. So we have 2 times 18 plus 2 times the w, the width. Now it says 48 feet of trim, and it says no more than 48 feet. Could it be 48? Sure. So it has to be less than or equal to 48 feet. All right, now solving this, 2 times 18 is 36. So we'd have 36 if that shows up. Let's try again. Oh gosh, now everything's showing up. Oh goodness me, oh my. 36 plus 2w is less than or equal to 48. Hey, how we going to get rid of that 36? We're going to go ahead and subtract it. Those cancel. 2 dubs is less than or equal to 12. And then we need to divide by the 2. So it has to be less than or equal to 6. What are the possible widths of the banner? So anything less than or equal to 6 feet. Now, that's kind of imperfect because it can't really be negative, right? So it would have to be greater than 0, but less than 6. And in the next section of notes, we're going to learn how to write an inequality like that. That has to be greater than 0, but less than or equal to 6. It's called a compound inequality. We'll get there. Tune in tomorrow. Oh, distributing now. Oh, wow. Okay. Wow, there's an extra step. Wow, what are we going to do? Let's go ahead and distribute. 2 times t is 2t. 2 times 2 is 4. Let's bring down the other stuff, and then we'll do some more. Then it's combined like terms on the same side. So I see a 2t minus 3t. That's negative 1t. Or you could say that's negative t. For me, on this problem, I actually like writing it as negative 1t. And you'll see why in a minute. We're going to get rid of plus 4 by subtracting 4. So we have negative 1t, or negative t, is greater than or equal to negative 5. Now the reason I like writing negative 1t is because we're going to have to divide by negative 1, which if it was written as negative t, you could still multiply or divide by negative 1 to make it positive, but it's kind of more obvious this way. So I'm going to divide by negative 1 on both sides, remembering to flip my inequality, and negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5. We're going to graph this as well, even though it doesn't tell us to. We're just that cool. 5. It's got to have a solid dot, and less than 5 would be to the left. So there's 3 here. Why don't you pick 2 of them to try out, and then pause it, try it out, unpause it, check your work, see how you did, fix any mistakes if you made them. Here we go. Come on, what is going on here? 4p plus 2p, can't read what the rest of that says. Oh, 2 times 7 is 14. Combine all our like terms. 6p plus 15 plus 8. 8 down, 5 minus 14 is negative 9. Over here, 15 plus 2 is 7. Let's make myself a little smaller. Subtract 14. Here we're not going to flip the sign because even though the negative 6 was negative, we're dividing by a positive. Here we're going to flip the sign because we divided by negative. And then over here we'll flip the sign as well because we're dividing by a negative there. Open dot left, close dot left because the letter is second, and here open dot right because letter is second. If the letter is first, follow the arrow. If the letter is second, then don't. If the letter is third. Alright, here we go. Oh, we gotta get the variables on the same side. So let's go ahead and subtract 4z from each side. 6z minus 4z is 2z minus 15 is less than 11. How do we get rid of the minus 15? Well, let's add it. How about that? 2z less than 26. 2 times z, so let's divide by 2. Do we need to flip the sign? No. Z less than 13. Let's graph it. Let's see, less than, so open dot and shade to the left. Great. I'd like you to pause and try this one. Dot to the right. Great. How'd you do? You did well. I think we got one more. It's kind of throwing all the steps at you. Oh, me. Here we go. Distribute. We have negative 12. Negative 3 times negative m would be positive 3m. Over here, we have 8m minus 28. Now let's get the variables on the same side. It doesn't matter which side. I'm going to subtract the 3m from both sides. Which will give us negative 12 is less than or equal to 5m minus 28. Let's add that 28. What do you say? Negative 12 plus 28 is 16. Less than or equal to 5m. And then just divide by that 5. And it's okay that we get a decimal here. It'd be 3.2, or you could just leave it as a simplified fraction. So you can even write it just as a fraction here, or again, write 3.2. Or if they had like a pre-made graph for you and there was a 3 and a 4, just put it really close to the 3. Now it's going to be a closed dot here, and our letter is not first, our variable. So it's pointing to the right, so we're actually going to shade to the left, because if this was rewritten, that would say m is less than or equal to 16/5. So I have one more for you to try. Try it out, check it, and then we're done. So if we distribute 6x plus 24 greater than or equal to 14x minus 21. Let's get the x's on the same side. 6x 24 greater than or equal to 20x minus 21. Let's add that 21. 45 greater than or equal to 20x, and then we'll divide that 20. And we can simplify this fraction, which is both divisible by 5. So 5 goes into 45 9 times, 5 goes into 24 times. Or if you did the decimal for this, it would be 2.25. If we were to graph it, 9/4 or 2.25, it'd be a closed dot. And our variable's written second, so we're going to go the opposite way that it points. So we're going to shade left. Or again, rewrite the inequality if you like with your variable first, if that's easier for you. That's it. Multi-step equalities in the bag.